Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are we doing? We good? Good. We're excited this afternoon for Margaret and myself to do a concert for you of patriotic music. We've been talking about doing this for a while. And finally, the stars have aligned and we're ready to do it for you today. A few housekeeping things. If in your program, you'll notice that we have an envelope. If you'd like to become a benefactor for next season, please drop your check or money into that envelope, and you can put it in the offering plates in the back. That way, your name will be in the program for next season. This is the last concert of the season, this current season. So we're excited about what we've done and what we're looking forward to. I'm adding some arts workshops in which I'll be teaching a couple classes on musical theater in New York City, and also in a workshop on church hymns. So a couple things that are really cool to be looking forward to. Just check those the schedule for next season. They're on there. And so Pastor Carla is on vacation, so I'm taking care of a few things here. So let's open in prayer, will we? Dear God, we come before you. We ask you that today will be a joyful time of celebration, that we will sit back and relax, breathe, and let your Spirit fill us as we offer these songs to you, Lord, and these things that we might not usually sing or not have a chance to sing or be part of today, they will be part of us. For those who aren't here and who are ill, bring them back to us safely. We ask these things in your name. Amen. So we'd like to start with three Americas that I've arranged for us. And on the third one, I'm going to give you all the chance to sing with us. And the lyrics are in your bulletin, and they're God Bless America. So when I tell you to, open that up and sing with us, okay? All right, Margaret. And now we'll be doing God Bless America. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. Sing with me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her in the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. One more time through. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. There we go. The Battle Hymn of the Republic was written, an existing tune. A woman actually wrote lyrics over it in November of 1861. Her name was Julia Ward Howe. Her husband visited D.C., and while there, she being a published poet, she heard Union troops belting out the tune to John Brown's Body after the famous abolitionist. The preacher standing with Howe encouraged her to write new lyrics to the tune. She said, "I replied that I had often wished to do so, but never had." And this is her accounting of what happened next. She said, "I awoke the next morning in the gray of the early dawn, and to my astonishment found the wished-for lines were arranging themselves in my brain. I lay quite still until the last verse had completed itself in my thoughts, then hastily arose, saying to myself, I shall lose this if I don't write it down immediately. I began to scrawl the lines almost without looking. Having completed this, I lay down again and fell asleep, but not before feeling that something of importance had happened to me that day." I grew up playing hymns when I was a kid, and I loved it because I could do whatever I wanted to do on the piano, and nobody seemed to bother me much. And so I memorized the hymnal. That way I could play anything in there whenever they wanted it. I thought that would be important, I thought, as a kid. And I remember that my pastor would come down and he would say, "Jason, that's enough. You're done playing, Jason. Go ahead, sit down." And I wouldn't leave. And so I'd play a few more times, and then he'd come back down and, "Jason, you're done, you're done, you're done." I don't know why it was such an aggravation to him, but I knew that I loved doing it. And in high school, we used to go to retirement homes twice a week and sing with the residents that were there. And they wouldn't just perk up when we sang, they would come remarkably alive and happy, even when they would sit there for hours at a time in their rooms and not talk to anyone. As soon as we started singing, they knew every lyric, they knew every word to every song. And I found that fascinating and wonderful because they would let me play as long as I wanted. So I always found it wonderful to be with them and to share that time with them. And no matter what we played, they would tell me if it was too fast or too slow, too high or too low. And that's how I would arrange myself. But I just had a fascination for that, the idea of music having that kind of impact on someone and their memory. So I find it wonderful whenever I can to share that. And what I think is kind of worrisome now is that some churches are not even using the old hymns anymore just because they think they're too old. And I don't think I think the hymns that we used to sing have special meaning, and their text has special meaning. And that's when the text and the music went together and shared a passion together. And so we're going to sing just a couple today together that I think that I've asked a few people here what they would like to hear, and they've named these hymns, and I think they're beautiful, and I think they're wonderful, and we don't sing them anymore. So I think today was just a chance for us to sing about 5 hymns today together. So I encourage you, if you want to sing along. If you don't, that's okay. I'm going to have Tom up here helping me. So Margaret, if you take away with our first one. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. One of my favorites in the garden. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and He
the joy we share as we tarry there. None other has ever
And a little sweet hour of prayer.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne make all my wants and wishes known. In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer.
And now great is thy faithfulness.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not thy compassion, they fail not. As thou hast been, now forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
And the last one we'll do, Onward Christian Soldiers. And
Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banners go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before.
thank you. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Thank you, Tom. And now I asked Margaret to prepare a little bit of a Yankee Doodle Dandy and Your Grand Old Flag. So. Now, I'd like to, do we have anyone was in the armed forces, retired or active or retired? Anyone in the Coast Guard? Or can we have you guys stand up? If you're in the Coast Guard or Navy or the Marines or Army or Air Force, could you please stand? Just want to recognize those who are here today. Thank you. Thank you, Lily. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's wonderful to have that. I'm from a very military family myself. My father was in World War II. He was a gunner on the aircraft, and my mother was an engineer for the B-52. She was a fuselage engineer on developing those parts. My brother worked in Connecticut on the nuclear subs, so I have a little bit of history there. So when I moved to San Diego, felt right at home here. And what I want to do as well is we're going to go ahead and sing a few of these tunes that represent each of the divisions of the military, starting with the Coast Guard. So if you know your tune, it should be printed in the bulletin there for you. The lyrics are there. So we're just going to recognize each one, starting with the Coast Guard, doing Semper Paratus. Okay.
We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, high shall our purpose be. Semper Paratus is our guide, our fame, our glory too. To fight, to save or fight, and die a Coast Guard, we are for you. And now the U.S. Air Force with Off We Go. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here we come, zooming to meet our thunder, and boys, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under, off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, or go down in flame, ain't no beats the U.S. Air Force. And now anchors away for the U.S. Navy. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail our break of day. Through our last night on shore, into the foe. wishing you a happy voyage home. And now the Marines hymn for the Marines. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the land and in the sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our nation's own. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. And for the U.S. Army. And the case arms go rolling along. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the Army goes rolling. Then it's hey, high, the Army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever you go, we will always know that the Army goes rolling along. Thanks. Thank you, guys. When I was 11, I went to play for Billy Graham on the East Coast when he was doing his tent revivals, and he was gracious enough to give me a place with him, and I spent about 3 years during the summer playing for him and his group of musicians and artists, and it totally changed how I looked at compassion and God and music, and it was a very nurturing place as well. My parents passed away when I was young, so having that kind of saved my life, I think. But when you went to work for him, you had to learn all the music and memorize it all, because what he had was a team of people who would travel with him week after week, but then he would invite these singers and people to come up on stage with him and just sit. And randomly during the service, they would just start to sing. And all of us musicians had to know what they wanted to sing and how high and how low they wanted to sing it. And that was interesting to get used to, because there wasn't any kind of lead time. They would just get up, go to the microphone and say, I'm going to sing, yada, yada. And you have to know it and just sit down and play it. And the first time I did, the woman came over to me after I played the introduction. She said, it's way too high. And she hit me on the back of the head. Then she said, that's just so you won't do it again. I said, okay, you're right, I'll never do that again. But it was a wonderful experience, and I took so much away from it, and I think of him every day and what his impact on my life and so many others' lives have been. But for the songs I wanted to sing for you today, they're just short ones that really resonated with me, and I think the tunes and the text, he always said that he wanted the tunes and the text to represent themselves and to let the emotion come through, and if you didn't understand that, he'd know it. And he did know it. He'd tell you if you weren't really connecting with it. And I think that he not only gave a chance to someone who loved to play, but he taught me what the Holy Spirit meant when it came to music. And I don't know about tomorrow. I just live from day to day. I don't borrow from its sunshine, for its skies may turn to gray. I don't worry o'er the future, for I know what Jesus said, and today I'll walk beside him, for he knows what is ahead. Many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know knows the future, and I know who holds my hand, and I know who holds my hand. In the dark of the midnight have I oft hid my face, while the storms howl above me and there's no hiding place. Mid the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry, keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand, let me to the law of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. I'd rather have Jesus than silver or gold. I'd rather have him than have riches untold. I'd rather have Jesus than houses or lands. I'd rather be led by his nail-pierced hand than to be the king of the vast domain, or be held in sin's dread sway. I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. And if you know this one, you can sing with me. Oh, how he loves you and me. Oh, how he loves you and me. He gave his life, what more could he give? Oh, how he loves you. Oh, how he loves me. Oh, how he loves you and me. I'll sing it through one more time if you want with me. Oh, how he loves you and me. Oh, how he loves you and me. He gave his life, what more could he give? Oh, how he loves you. Oh, how he loves me. Oh, how he loves you and me. Thanks for doing that with me. And our second to last tune we have is one Spanish number that I arranged for Margaret and I to do together, called Donde hay amor, Where the Heart Is, and it was written as a tribute to America from an immigrant, and I think it's a beautiful tune, and I think it's a great way for us to also represent that part of our history. So, Margaret, take us away.
just wanted to take a quick moment and thank a few people that have been so helpful this week and preparing for this. Tom, thank you for singing. Where's Tom? Where'd he go? Oh, how do you give it to him? Thanks, Tom, for he's such a great help and asset. So thank you, Tom, for singing. Jane Gerber, is she in here? She's handling all of our refreshments after. She's a whiz. So we thank Jane for handling that. And for Sherry and Andrew for their work on sound and audio. Thank you so much. And Margaret, I want to thank Margaret, my right-hand devil. She's so giving, and she's so giving of her time and her energy, and I'm so blessed to have you in my life. So our last tune today is Stars and Stripes Forever. So I want to thank you for coming, and if I hope you enjoyed it, and please look at our next season coming up. It starts in September with a Latin concert, and we're just adding more and more to do as much as we can for our congregation and community. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please join us for refreshments after Stars and Stripes. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much, and we'll see you over for refreshments next door.